during the next bargaining agreement. Get your power back from Goodell. They won't get much power back from him, but
I think they could. I really do.
Think
I know
so?
people. Yeah, because you became an owner not because you dumb. I mean, obviously, a lot of these owners were gifted money, but Clay Boiling Ass Ribs Davis said sacrifice is needed in the National Football League Players Association for change to happen, and I 100% agree. Here's the thing: these guys don't like to lose money. And I could guarantee you, even though their pockets are a lot longer, they're going to get hurt. And if the players seriously take this serious and bargain for some other different things, I think that they have the opportunity because they really control what's going on the field. I mean, they really do.
No, yeah, very well said. And I think once players realize again the power that they do have and things start thinking outside the box a little bit on how they can approach certain things, that it will be a much stronger union for them.
Well, I've always said there's a reason why the Major League Baseball union is stronger. Even the NBA, which is predominantly African American, their union is a lot stronger. But they also have athletes that, for whatever reason, are more bought into what they need to do to get things accomplished, and they're also looking out for their future interests as well. And that's a direct reflection. Is you can see all these bum players in the NBA getting paid, and that why? Because their last agreement, the union, they worked it like that.
Well said, man. Well said. So, Sports and More show here on SME, the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. I am Vince Wright, the sports governor from Minnesota, co-host of the wonderful show. I'm here with DJ Dollars and Cents, the one and only Reggie Lawrence out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, doing big things. Hey, Reg, we got about 20 minutes left here in the show tonight. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Can Michigan go to the college playoffs this year?
Anything is possible. I think, honestly, what's going to hurt Michigan is their lack of a quarterback this year. They don't have a clear number one quarterback that's, markedly better than pretty much anyone in the Big Ten. And that's the one thing I think that's really going to hold them back. I know Ohio State's suffered a few injuries. Running back, they kicked a kid off or beating his girl. But I think that's what's going to hold Michigan back is not having a number one quarterback.
I read an interesting story today, and that's the reason I bring up that program about Jim Rome kind of going off there on Coach Harbaugh. Coach Harbaugh, once again, he was asked about a couple players that were injured, answered one question. I guess he got a little ticked off and exited the press conference. And Jim Rome, take him, leave him, love him, hate him, whatever. But I thought it was interesting because he's like, this guy seems, and I don't know if I agree with it, but I just wanted to put it out here for the chat room and all our listeners on the show tonight. He goes, it seems like this guy is just as miserable in college as he was the pros. What do you think about that? Is Jim Harbaugh maybe not feeling it? I know he's doing all the right things. He's in the rap videos and he's winning recruits and all this. But is this going to be a long-term marriage with him in Michigan?
When I talk to a lot of my doctors that are from Michigan and have been avid Michigan fans, they say that is the one knock on Harbaugh is that the dude is wrapped tight. I mean, we're tight. I mean, real tight. And that is the one rub on him is that, obviously in college, you can control things a lot more, but he's just different, man. And his brothers is not as crazy, but I think that's going to wear thin. A lot of Michigan alumni and whatnot out here in Michigan feel that it's going to, at some point it's going to wear, its course. They love the man, obviously because, he played for Bo. But I think it's one of those, they're basically kind of just like, hey, let's ride this as long as we can. They do expect at some point for him to implode or get this itch that I've got to leave. But right now,
back to the pros or something.
Yeah. Right now, man, Michigan had been so bad for so long that they they will basically put up with anything from this guy. And
right. Yeah, no, very, very well said there, man. It was, like I said, Reg, it was just something that I thought was a real interesting little topic here. Sluggo in the chat room has a good point. He says, coach is a proven commodity. So, in a word, yes. Harbaugh, definitely a proven commodity. I just wonder long-term if he really has the skin for the college game. I mean, I don't even know if he has the skin long-term for the pro game, but, I don't know if I see him in Michigan in 5 years.
It's a lot of it's going to depend.
And I hope I'm wrong, by the way, because it would be nice to see somebody, let's say he comes back, he returns them to prominence. They're back in the upper echelons of college football. It would be nice to see someone come and stay a while and be maybe the next Bo. Well, nobody's going to be Bo Schembechler, but you know what I'm saying, to have that longevity. And who knows, get a statue outside himself.
Well, this year's gonna say a lot because they play Ohio State in Ohio State. And next year they're supposed to have a pretty darn good recruiting class. So a lot of it's going to depend on these 2 years. Right. But yeah, he's just a different guy. But let's see. Clay Boiling asked Ribs Davis had said that I ran that. He said the sacrifice was needed in the Players Association, but he also said the Players Association has to at least negotiate guaranteed contracts for players that's been in the league 8+ years. Now that might be a little bit more difficult, but anything is possible. I agree, or at least definitely work something as far as that guarantee money, and I think that's why you got the Bosas of the world. It's like, look, I'm going to hold out and get as much guaranteed money as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because and Bosa, there's still no movement there, by the way, either. So he has really dug in his heels and looks like
that was.
Go ahead.
That was my fault. I meant to tell you that was another thing that I wanted to bring up is that, it was interesting, again, is that a lot of the listeners had no problem with who was that on the Chargers calling him out? Was that Antonio Gates? About saying that he should be back in camp, if I'm correct. Bosa?
I have no idea, in all honesty.
So what was interesting is that, again, and I like Damian Woody, and also Booger McFarland, but they brought up a good point. They said the two biggest rules that you don't do in the NFL is talk about a man's money. They said you do not do that. And regardless, black or white, you do not talk about a man's money, put him out on Front Street. And in fact, Gates had held out previous before too. So they said that's an unwritten rule because they know how violent the sport is and how short term it is, and that you don't mess with a man's money. And I didn't get a chance to say that I 100% agree, and I thought it was completely inappropriate for Gates to talk about another player holding out to get his money when they all do it, and the average career is 3 years.
Yeah, I hear you, man. You got to get it while you can. Unguaranteed contracts, short career spans. The average career, like you just said, roughly about 3 years for most players, 3 to 4 years. And those guys ain't making millions upon millions. So you got to get what you can when you can. So we'll see if something pops here in the next week or so in that Busa situation, though.
Speaking of getting what you can and a former NFL great, did you see in the news that Darren Sharper got 18 years in prison for drugging and raping women? 18 years. Stupid
mofo, man. This guy's he was a good-looking dude, a football player. I mean, he played up here at Green Bay, the Vikings, so I heard a lot of women of all shapes, sizes, colors, whatever, loved that dude. But he got to go rape chicks.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Seriously? When you get honestly, zeros.
Exactly. I mean, Darren Sharper literally could have had his choice of anybody, and this is what you got to do? Hey, man, he deserved some more time as far as I'm concerned.
Let me tell you, Vince, like when I was in college and up in Rhode Island, I had a bunch of fraternity brothers on the New England Patriots, and I hung out with them. And you want to talk about women just throwing it at them. When you're a professional athlete, man, you get
Reg,
your pick.
So when you said hanging out, so what, you were serving the drinks or what?
Nah.
What were you doing?
These are my frat bros. We was out like kicking it, chilling. I go,
You weren't the sober cab or nothing?
No, dog, no. I
Was
mean,
that
I don't know
laughter
how
in the
many,
background back there?
I don't know how many professional athletes, that you can call fraternity brothers, in your chapter, but it's all good.
I can call quite a lot of my people fraternity brothers.
Oh, professional athletes that we would know of, that we can look up?
Yeah.
Name me 3.
Touchdown, Tommy Vardell, baby.
For the Cleveland Browns running back.
Yeah, out of Stanford. Yep, he was Sigma
He
Nu.
was garbage, but
and
all
I
right.
mean, I'd have to, and again, I would have to pull it up. And actually, who's the most famous one out there right now?
Who?
My main man, Eli Manning, Sigma Nu through and through. What's up, homie?
Okay. Oh boy, I thought I could have sworn they said he was singing that song down in Mississippi.
Oh, he probably was. Remember what I told you about fraternities north of the Mason-Dixon and south of the Mason-Dixon?
All right, I'm gonna leave you alone with that. But there's another report: the Lakers will buy out Nick Young's contract if they can't trade him. Now, what are your thoughts on Swaggy P?
Bye. Shit, excuse my language, but Swaggy ain't bringing nothing to the table, man. Bye. Kicking rocks. Next topic.
Oh, Swaggy P. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say next topic. What do you think? He does. Swag's never done nothing for me.
Well, who did he snitch on again? It was okay. I guess you got. I think D'Angelo Russell's not all that good anyway, but I agree. I don't see how Swaggy got all that money anyway, so I definitely
exactly. And here's the thing, and the one thing I will agree with the Grizz on was his Los Angeles Laker take, man, because Jim Buss running that thing into the ground. Mitch Kupchak is definitely past his expiration date. Jeannie Buss, she's too busy, worrying about her boyfriend who runs the New York team. The Lakers, man, short of getting Jerry West back in that joint, they're going to have to take a look at that front office big time, man, because they are really doing hell of nothing over there in the Staples Center. And it's just disappointing, man, just disappointing.
I don't see Jersey talking any smack. Looks like RG3 and the Cleveland Browns went up top on Atlanta with Terrell Pryor. So, it's preseason, Jersey. You need, like you would tell me, you need to sit your ass down, man. It's game number 2, and we shall see. And I don't recall, did Jersey post something that he would take my bet regarding?
I didn't see anything out there. I was just looking. The lovely Miss Queen had something out there. I think it was regarding Darren Sharper here on the Sports and More show. And she
that's
says,
a lot of
but
time. Go ahead. Sorry.
She says, but it's too many women out here that will give it up for him to be doing that. He gets what he gets. I don't feel sorry for him. And, hey, very well said, Miss Queen. I don't feel sorry for him either. Like I said, he should have got some more time. He needs another decade thrown on for that nonsense, man. Drugging, raping women all over the country? Come on.
Come on. And she said, dag, 18 years? It's going to be a lot of time to think about that. That's for sure. A lot of time.
Exactly. And he going into General Pop? Woo.
How you think? Ooh, and he pretty too. Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, Darren's a strong dude, man, but like Andy and Shawshank, you can only hold it off if they coming for you for so long.
Question for you, Vince. I know you're a huge Viking fan along with like 20 other teams, but we'll stick to the Vikings.
Okay, thank you.
You're my boy. So you heard RG3 was getting a divorce, right?
I did.
Okay. Now, allegedly, I'm thinking that he was out creeping or kicking it. I mean, because I seen his wife.
From the neck down, she got a nice little thing happening.
Not when you a millionaire.
Hey, no, I hear you. But look, here's the thing, and according to TMZ, you got to give them props.
Yeah,
is that he was knocking boots with this the Florida State lady, months and months and months ago, and actually, left his wife, and the kid's only 7 months old.
Who's the Florida State lady? Is it just something random?
Oh, you better do some Googling, man. Check out RG3's girlfriend that he, oh, by the way, has her name tattooed on his right arm. This